did you choose Vama Buzăului for this project?
It's a long story. I've been coming to Romania for 25 years, and in fact, I came from another business, and actually, in fact, I came from the oil business, and I was part of seeing the development in Romania from the fall of Ceausescu to now, and that was an amazing, difference between then and now. I've seen all the transition, and in part of the tradition I was part of going out and buying, investing in Romania, going for land, and we went out in the region, in Brasov, and we found a lot of people who wanted to do the same. There was a lot of land speculation, and you saw prices moving up and down, and we said at one point, no, I'm not going to be part of this. We don't want to be part of this chaos. And we said, let's create our own dynamics. And we worked for a year, and I worked with Horia Halmaj, who is now our partner. And he went around with his car and looked at all the villages for qualities. Like, we want to be in a place where there is a potential for ecotourism, which means you need to have it close to a city and nature. We wanted a traditional village with history. Now, Vama Buzăului has 2,000 years of history, being even a border post in Roman times. Now that's wow. It meant that Romania, or Vama Buzăului, had this community with traditions, with all the legacy of the past. Those were all the qualities that we were looking for, and one additional quality that we demanded was the quality of government. And that is what we found in Vama Buzăului as well, a mayor and a council which is out looking to seek development, but also to benefit the people and be invited to external investors, but the right investors. So it's a long story, but that's why we decided for Vama Buzăului.
Why is this project unique?
It's unique because of our approach. There are very few people who would take so many years to establish a relationship with a community and with a government to then start a project. Most projects start because can I buy a piece of land and build a skyscraper or something and make money and go away. We reversed the sequence. I think you'll find very few examples like this. We are now trying to be at the beginning of the 21st century. One of the quotes in our brochures is to create a project that feels contemporary at the end of the century. Meaning that if you walk around here, it's say, hey, we're still in a project of current project. So it's ahead of the time, and the reason why it's ahead of the time is again the way we are approaching the project. The thing is with projects, if you do a project somewhere in a place like Vama Buzăului, where there's very little else, you attract other investors. I mean, other people come. One of the risks that we identified when we went to Vama Buzăului and said is, if we start something, if we go into the media, other investors will come. That's good, but what are those investors going to do? We don't want the new investor or the new dynamics to change Vama Buzăului. So I think the approach that we took to say is yes, people can come here to invest and do things, but we, that is the people of Vama Buzăului, determine what can be done or not. Quite often, in what happens in the world, if investors come to a place where people are local and rural, they don't have a defense against the money. So we are helping Vama Buzăului to say no to the type of investments which will change the nature of Vama Buzăului, which in turn then is important for the people who buy the house, because we promise a certain house in an environment of traditional life. That's why people will buy this house. So we want to govern the fact that in 20 years or 30 years time, the village is still as we found it. So that's where the uniqueness sits, and the uniqueness maybe therefore is the fact that we have a phenomenal, great architecture which was inspired by this fantastic valley, and that we have a governance program with the municipality to ensure that the quality of the building is going to remain. And the quality of the building is not just the building. The quality is also to maintain the view here and the way people live in the village.
Okay, thank you. Perfect.
Thank you.